You're going to start with that ball on the right side, just off center. So I'm not on the spinous process. I'm just kind of snugging the ball in just off center, somewhere in the middle, top to bottom, in our cervical spine. And just take a couple breaths, let everything sort of sink and melt. And then you can start with some gentle rotations. So just rotating that head towards the ball. And really, there's no right or wrong here. You can rotate either way, but I just find that you feel a little bit more when you rotate to the right into the ball. And just breathing. And then again, we're just sort of working our way top to bottom, so you can move the ball up higher so it's closer to those suboccipitals. And again, here you can really explore, all the way. Like you could move all the way up to the base of your skull, even like onto the ridge of that occiput where the bony bit of the back of your head is. You could lay your head on that part. And just, again, always checking in with yourself and what you're feeling, right? If it feels like it's too intense and you're bracing and you're holding your breath and you need to back off, you need to maybe go to a different spot, ease up a little bit. So right now, like as I'm up higher, I'm feeling like I want to be holding onto my head with my left hand. So do whatever you need to do. If you feel like you want to rest your hand, if you feel like you want to get a little bit of a towel and place it underneath there, if you feel like you want to use a softer ball. And then we're just working our way along these muscles. You can add those little tiny chin tucks. Breathing. And every time you move it to a new section, take a second. Just let yourself sort of melt into it. Sometimes the first reaction is for your body to kind of brace against it. So just give it a second. Let it melt in there a little bit, and then you can start to add in your range of motion, your chin tucks. And work your way down into that upper trap area. So right where the kind of meaty part of your upper trapezius, right? And just take a couple breaths. We're also going to be releasing this part when we do our whole upper back rotator cuff shoulder section, but we're just going to touch base with this because it's so obviously connected here. So again, once you get into this zone, you can add in a little bit more of your pushing into your feet. So you're putting pressure into that ball and then easing up. So this can be as intense or as mellow as you want it to be. You can barely push through your feet, or you can bridge all the way up and really drive that ball into this tissue. And relax. You can add range of motion of your arm. You can combine those things. Again, breathing, relaxing into it, letting it soften, letting it melt. And again, I'm not going to give you like a prescribed time to do this. I would say if you're new to rolling out, just start mellow. Start with just a little bit. Probably what we're doing today and just in this guided portion, if you just watch it all together, is a good amount of time to start with. Unless this is really intense for you, then maybe start with a little bit less. But then you can certainly, as your body is more used to rolling and as your tissue gets a little bit looser, more detoxified, you can do more. I wouldn't have respect for all of this work. It's deep tissue, I wouldn't go get a deep tissue massage every day. So give your time, give your tissue time to kind of integrate this and to heal and recover. And so, maybe if you go really deep into your neck and stuff, you're going to need to give it several days before you go back into this area. But you could certainly, move on to another part. You could do your shoulder next, or your back, or your hip. So you can kind of work through your system, but you don't necessarily want to go back in day after day after day into the same tissue in a really deep way anyway.